Chapter 12, The Fallout. For you, my dearest. Richard strides boldly to Veronica, pressing the bouquet you made into her arms. She glances between him and Drew, startled. Richard, I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. Consider this bouquet a symbol of the tenderness I feel for you. Your cheeks burn with betrayal as you hear the all-too-familiar words and turn to hiss at Jack under your breath. So this was the plan all along, and you never saw it coming. Before you can snap back at Jack, Veronica's voice reaches you, again rising in confusion. Richard, I do wish you would have told me you were coming tonight. You haven't attended these events in years. I hoped to surprise you. The truth is, I've done wrong by you. Sure, such an extraordinary woman deserves a man who will stand by her side, and it's high time I began doing just that. Richard offers Veronica his arm. Your dad awkwardly coughs, and Richard glances at him as he been discarded wrapper. I haven't seen this man before. Is he part of the fundraiser staff? Actually, I'm a restaurateur operating a bar in the heart of Chelsea. I've been helping Two's Co. with matches lately. A rush of pride floods you as your dad keeps us cool. Veronica beams. I've invited Drew to introduce him to the investors. A good thing, too. I've been interested in diversifying my investments for a while. A family-owned bar is exactly what I'm looking for. Well, this is a charity, I suppose. Anyway, Veronica, let's sit down for dinner, shall we, dear? Richard leads a still confused-looking Veronica away. Jack quickly catches up to them. Your dad spots you and walks over, looking morose. I'll tune back now, what? You're gonna sit with Veronica at dinner, of course. Whatever Jack and Richard are planning, we have to stop them. Well, what do I do about the Richard? That guy obviously already doesn't like me. Just remember... Change the subject if he starts being demeaning. Include others in the conversation. Change the subject. Richard's the kind of guy who wants to see you crack. You can't give him the satisfaction. If he starts picking on you, change the subject to something you and Veronica can team up about. Alright. I think I can do this for Veronica. Richard and Veronica sit side by side at a table. You give your dad a pat on the back and he takes the free seat beside Veronica. Drew, my good man, I believe the beneficiaries of this charity event have their own table by the door. Richard, I did invite him. That's so very thoughtful of you, darling, but I don't see his name on the table placements here. Actually, Richard, I was hoping to hear more about which of the charities present tonight you were thinking of supporting. Veronica catches your dad's eye and smiles serenely at her husband. I'd be interested to know as well, dear. There are quite a few present. Oh, yes, well... He quickly glances around until he spots a sign for one of the charities. Like the Harbor Conservation Group. Supporting the environment is all the rage these days. As your dad smoothly navigates the conversation, you take a seat across the table next to Jack. Keeping your voice low, you murmur at him. Listen, Jack. It's sad that you're this desperate. Richard, seriously, Jack? I don't know what the hell you're thinking. That's the whole point of a blind side. Looks like I played my cards just right. Your plan's gonna fall through the second Richard reveals what a snake he is. Not gonna happen. I made sure he cared about it, doing right by Veronica before I took him on. Raising his voice, Jack smiles across the table to Richard. Richard, you should tell the story of how you and Veronica met. It's the sweetest one I know. Oh, it all began the day of the co-founder of my first company. Was hungover before an interview. I went in his place, and that's how I got to cover in Forbes. Shrewd and clever as always, Richard. Sounds like you should have thrown some cold water on your pal and let him have his moment. You wouldn't understand, but that's not the point in the story. I walked out of that interview and this lovely woman caught my eye. We were two ambitious people poised for success and love as if fate willed it. It was a bit like fate. But please, let's hear about your guest, Veronica. While I trust your goodwill, I can't imagine what he'd need and invest us for. Better mops to wipe up after drunkards who miss the bowl. Richard sneers at your dad, who stiffens and swallows hard. The bar industry is more than... Don't worry, that was a joke. The service world is a black box to me, regardless. I did my first finance internship in high school and never looked back. Then Maggie drops down in the seat beside yours and whispers in your ear, I've been paying attention to what's going on. You can't let Richard talk to your dad that way. No shit, really. Believe me, I know, but I don't know what to do that won't make my dad look bad. We need to turn the tables on Richard, get him to embarrass himself in front of everybody. I have an idea. We should pressure Richard to donate charity he doesn't want to. Order Richard a fruity drink he'll get upset about. We have to make him look bad. You whisper your idea to Maggie, and she nods and rises from the table, a gleam in her eyes. I'm on it. A minute later, a waiter comes over with a colorful drink and sets it in front of Richard. Here's your berry cosmopolitan, sir. Richard gapes in horror at the violently pink drink. I think you're mistaken. I didn't order this. My Richard, what a vibrant drink. I didn't know your tastes ran so sweet. They don't. This is fool of a waiter got his orders mixed up. I didn't. The order was for Richard Roberts at table 3. Well, clearly someone at the bar is an idiot because there's no way I'm drinking this floofy thing. All this fuss over a little drink? Are we still letting our masculinity get threatened by the color pink these days? Drew takes a drink and has a sip and smiles at the waiter. Delicious. Please give my compliments to the person who made this. From one bartender to another. The ratio of vodka to honey and spot on. You got a real pro back there. I'll make sure to pass on your compliment. Thank you, sir. Excuse... Oh, good. The first course is here. I mean, that did make him look good. And an assortment of seafood appetizers are placed at the table, cutting off Richard's tirade before it begins. You hold your breath, watching your dad carefully, but he remembers your lessons, picking up the tiny fork and swirling around the meat in the shell. These oysters are so fresh, I'm reminded of the time I sampled locally sourced seafood caught that very morning. I do consider myself a seafood connoisseur. Do try the cilantro garnish, it's divine. Yes, that's my dad. Drink aficionado and seafood connoisseur. Richard's lips curl as he watches your dad, and he abruptly addresses Veronica. Veronica, you've spent long enough helping True Network. We should say hello to some of the other colleagues. That isn't necessary. Dinner has just begun, and I'm perfectly happy socializing here. You'll be perfectly happy meeting some other different people, too. Richard grasps her arm, trying to lead her away. Hey, if Veronica wanted to go somewhere else with you, she would. There's no need for that vice grip. There's no need for you to cut into a conversation that doesn't involve you. Well, when you're hurting someone you care about, it actually does. Richard, you're hurting your wife. You don't have to hold on to her that hard. Nobody asked for your opinion just because my wife took pity on you and hired you doesn't give you a say in her personal matters. Don't you dare speak to my daughter like that. Your daughter? Oh, I should have known. Veronica took on a charity case, and the charity case's low-life dad's got a crush. Richard, watch what you're saying. She yanks her arm out of Richard's grasp. He looks between her and Drew, comprehension dawning over his features. Oh, that's rich. I shouldn't have to defend my marriage against my wife's conniving other man. I may have been unfaithful a few times, but this bartender could never measure up to what I give you. Unfaithful a few times. Bro, okay, yep, I'm not gonna even begin trying to decode this one. A hush goes over the table as everyone processes Richard's admission. You've cheated on Veronica? I mean... And yes, that's not me cutting the music out, folks. That is Pixel Perry's doing. Absolutely despicable. You sick son of a... Before you can stop him, your dad sucks Richard square in the face. Richard topples over, his plate of oysters falling on top of him. Oh my, should we call security? Drew, what have you... I realized I don't belong in your world. I'm sorry. I'll see myself out. Enjoy the rest of your party. Your dad rushes toward the exit as everyone in the ballroom watches. Dad, wait. But he ignores your calls. You turn to Jack, fury boiling inside of you. I didn't know. You're coming with me now. No. I'd leave him in the damn ballroom looking like shit because he teamed up with Richard to make you look bad, and he made himself look bad. You storm out of the gala, Jack following close behind. You find a private place in the courtyard and whirl around to face him. I cannot believe you. How could you do this to Veronica, to my dad? How could you pick Richard? Clearly I didn't know what Richard had done. You really think I would have chosen him if I knew he cheated? Probably. I didn't get how you picked him without knowing that. Hello, Veronica's trying to divorce him. Jack scrubs a hand over his face, but when this hand drops, he looks at you imploringly. Look, I screwed up big time, but you need to understand why I put faith in Richard. I really thought I was doing the right thing. Are you kidding me? You're still trying to defend yourself. To defend him. I needed someone who could rival Drew, okay? I thought to myself, if Richard and Veronica already had worked together once, why not again? Because they're literally getting divorced! I mean, there's a foul on both sides, let's be honest. I called Richard. Before I could say a word, he asked for my help. He wanted to do whatever necessary to get Veronica back. He was racked with guilt, saying he'd made all these mistakes, but being apart from her gave him perspective. Come on, Jack. How could you let him fool you? You're smarter than this. You've been doing this for 10 years. You know what makes a good match. I really thought I could make this work. I have a decade of experience. If anyone could rekindle the romance, it could be me. Ego. He bites his lip, gaze going distant and pained as though he's remembering something. Sometimes when people get hurt, they forget what's worth fighting for in a relationship. It doesn't mean that magical spark is gone. You think back to the other day in Jack's childhood attic reading his journal. Jack, wait, this isn't about Richard and Veronica at all. It's about your own parents. You want to change Richard into a good husband because you couldn't do that with your own dad. He blinks several times, stunned, before putting his hands up. A nice try, Freud, but I left Operation Cupid in the past. Don't give me that bull. You're letting your personal feelings blind you. But you can't fix something that's broken, Jack. By this mentality of our MC, it's really stupid. So you're telling me that if like, okay, I'm not even gonna right now. I'll do it at the end. Hey, watch it. You're the one overstepping here. This isn't just me reacting to some childhood trauma. And besides, you don't get to decide when a relationship's broken or not. And you don't seem to have given much thought to the fact that they are getting a divorce for a good reason. What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and I let you win? Don't make this about me. You did this. All of this mess is your fault. My fault. Oh, that's rich. You're the one who thought it would be a good idea to bring Mr. Everyman to High Society fundraiser. No, Veronica did. Because she wants him here. She wants him to be part of her life, not Richard. Well, he's not fitting in so well, is he? No, he was fitting in just fine until you. You threw Veronica, my dad, me, and your own integrity under the bus tonight, Jack. You can't talk your way out of this one. You back-ended me in no quarter. I had no choice. No good choice. I mean, you did, but, you know, you kind of squandered that one. Veronica likes your dad a lot. Richard was the only one who might be able to win against that connection. Veronica would be happy with my dad. That's what she asked us to find. Love. I can't believe you forgot what this is all about. No, you've forgotten what this is all about. Jack begins to pace as he speaks, practically spinning in place as he huffs. When does what I want get to matter? When do I get to live my dreams? Why do I get to fight you for my position of my dreams? His voice raw with anger, anguish echoes across the courtyard. You match his timbre with your own, your throat aching at the volume. We've already been over this. What the hell do you want from me, Jack? For me to just give it up? Yes, that's exactly what I want. Well, that's insane. Insane? Insane? His eyes are dark, his anger practically spilling out of him. He stops pacing and steps towards you. You don't back down even inches away from his face. He's saying he's working for a freaking decade, putting my entire life on hold for this job, only for this girl I randomly met to blunder her way into a competition that shouldn't have even existed. The only reason you're here is luck. You were lucky I was in that bar that night. You were lucky I took you to the gala. Don't you You were lucky Veronica crushed on your dad. You didn't even want her to. But now it's going to win you the whole damn competition. Do you not get how infuriating it is? It's like giving someone a lottery ticket and then watching them win the jackpot. Lucky. Don't diminish me like that. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have the skills. I've worked just as hard as you for this. Not exactly. You've worked the competition. But as he said, he's worked a decade. Twice as hard. Because I don't have all the resources from years of working. And at the end of the day, you wouldn't be here at all if it wasn't for me. Well, guess that's salt just gonna be in your wound for a long time, isn't it? Because I'm here and I'm not backing down. So I don't get even a thank you for my role in this, huh? Well, you're not welcome. You clench your fist against the sting of his words. Where does this end, Jack? What's the line? How much are you willing to hurt me for this job? Don't act like our situations are the same, Luna. You just waltzed into the competition. It's just some fun thing for you. I'm trying to win something I've worked towards for most of my adult life that just got offered to you by chance on a silver platter. Silver platter? Oh. I've been matchmaking at the bar for years. The reason I couldn't pursue it is because I had to help my dad keep the lights on. You got the opportunity to pursue your dreams. That doesn't make them mine and valid. I got a chance and I took it. And believe me, this isn't fun for me. I'm not having fun here. And if you think I'd put myself through all this grief for some silly thing I don't care about, you can screw yourself, Jack Monroe. You storm away from him and hail a cab. As it pulls up, you hurl one last sentence at him. Oh, and if this job was obviously yours, how come Veronica made you prove yourself in this competition? You enter the cab and slam the door shut. All you hear is fury pounding in your ears. I mean, she did have a point. You manage to make it the most of the way home before you start to cry. The next morning, you wake to a polite but insistent knocking at your door. You groan and put your pillow over your head, but the knocking continues. Luna, are you awake? I am now, unfortunately. Hearing her voice, you get out of bed and make your way to the door. We apparently look like that when waking up. Maggie, why are you here? Well, I may have overheard that enormous argument that I had last night, and it may be why I'm here, to see if I could maybe help you feel better. Allegedly. Were we really that loud? Yeah, you were. And she looks you up and down and sighs. You didn't even change when you got home? Yeah, and look, the makeup and hair is still intact. I decided I'd rather be unconscious, but I feel kind of gross now. With a soft smile, she pulls a garment bag from behind her bag. Well, then it's a good thing I brought you something. A new outfit always makes me feel better when I need to pick me up. Why don't you get changed, and then we can have breakfast? I picked up croissants on the way. Oh, today must be croissant day for Pixelberry. I owe you, forever. No, you don't. That's what friends do. She hands you the garment bag, and you take it to your room, where you try on the outfit. A diamond choice. Pick me up before you go. You rejoin Maggie in the kitchen, breathing in the buttery smell of crushed croissants and coffee with a smile. I'm feeling better already. Thanks for the outfit, Maggie. You look adorable. Now get your butt over here. I got some of these cute little artisanal jams to go with the breakfast, and they're to die for. You sit down with Maggie and spread some jam on a steaming croissant, then take a big bite, immediately getting crumbs all over your mouth. Oh my god, this is exactly what I needed. There is nothing that a good buttery, flaky pastry can't fix. Well, sort of. I know last night was pretty messy. Understatement of the century. Well, have you talked to your dad? You set down your croissant with a heavy heart, taking a moment to dab at your mouth with a napkin. No, he wasn't answering his phone when I got back last night. I think he needed some time, but I'll check in on him later. Most likely, him and a bottle of, whiskey. It was a good night. And what about you? How are you feeling right now, honestly? That was a lot to take in. I'm pissed and sad. Seeing my dad get hurt like that, knowing Jack was behind it, I'm furious. But I'm mostly just feel betrayed. It felt like everything was working between us. The hiccups were the competition's fault, not us, you know? But it turned out it wasn't just the competition. Shrug, uncertainty eating away at you. The worst part is, I don't really know where Jack and I stand. And I left before we could finish the conversation, or, well, yelling match. Is this a bump in the road we can get over? Is this the end? So, let me get this. You criticize Veronica and Richard for their bump in the road and her getting a divorce because she feels like the romance kind of died after years of, you know, it being good. And suddenly you're like, yo, is this over? Hypocrisy. I can spy on him for you if you want. See if I can figure out where his head's at. As always, I appreciate your initiative. But that's a conversation he and I will have to have in person, hopefully soon, about Jack. He'll need to work hard if he wants forgiveness. I'm still trying to process everything he said. I could tell he's hurting too. I don't think he meant all the hurtful things he said, at least not in the way he said them. I didn't join the competition because I wanted to take the CEO position away from him, but I can't blame him for feeling like I did. Hey, you deserve it just as much as he does. You were born to do this, Veronica. Seize that in you. It's quiet for a few moments as you both eat through several croissants and sip on coffee. Finally, Maggie speaks up again. So, the competition's still on? Yep, for better or for worse. Are you ready to finish this, whether you win or lose? You take a second to think about how you feel, digging deep, knowing that no matter what, you'll see this competition through. I just wish I could press pause. For all of our sakes, you know. For my dad, Veronica, to talk about last night. For Veronica to deal with Richard's fallout. For me and Jack to just try to get somewhere better. At least you have the rest of the weekend before you have to get back to work. Also, by the way, Richard's confession in front of, like, every single person in high society actually opens up Veronica to openly date otherwise and get a divorce. It also has already done irreparable damage to her company as a whole, and it's not really her fault. Maggie plates another croissant for you and pushes a tiny little jar of jam over. Alright, enough sad talk for now. It's the weekend. We have fancy jam. Let's get sugar high and forget everything else. That's the plan. I'll happily follow through. Here, try this flavor. This one has banana, raspberry, and rum. I'd be nothing without you, Maggie. It's nice to have friends like that. A little while later, you enter the stockyard and see your dad at the bar, writing furiously on a piece of paper. He's surrounded by crumpled drafts. You haven't slept, have you? Benji trotts up to you with several balls of paper in his mouth. Those aren't toys, buddy. Listen, they're paper balls. They're toys if that dog wants them. He drops the balls at your feet, soaked through with drool. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not playing fetch with those. No. How dare you make that face, you cutie. You grimace as you pick up one of the pieces and toss it as Benji zooms after it. You approach your dad and rinse off your drooly hand in the bar sink. What's all this? I'm trying to write an apology letter to Veronica. I want to show her I mean it, and sending a text or calling her doesn't seem like enough. And how's that going? Clearly well. He gestures at the paper-strewn floor. Benji's enjoying it at least. Roof. I can't get my thoughts together. How do I say I'm sorry for everything? But it's not entirely your fault, dude. Well, are you really sorry for all of it? You've had some great moments with Veronica. Apologizing for everything feels like you regret those times too. I can't help feeling like the times things were right. I was just giving her the wrong idea, making her believe I was better for her. He runs a hand through his hair, elbow slumping against the bar counter. You take a seat beside him, giving him time to speak. I wish I hadn't punched Richard. I know I embarrassed Veronica, and I left her to deal with it. I need to let her know I regret it, and that it's not the kind of man I am. Dad, I'm really proud of you for writing this apology, but you can't put all the blame on yourself. The way Richard was behaving was despicable, and what he's done to her, he deserved what he got. Yeah, pretty much, even though it was uncivil, right? I can think of what happened on the Oscars last night, and yeah, no. Same shit! Same, God, sweet Jesus, Pixelberry predicted the future here. I don't disagree with you there, but I still don't feel good for having gotten violent and running away from afterwards. It's really important to me that Veronica knows that. He squeezes his hand, eyeing all the discarded, unfinished letters lying around. I think she'll be happy to hear it. She liked you a lot, Dad. She was glowing for days after your bowling date. Was she really? It was kind of scary, to be honest, but that's how much she likes you. Hearing you apologize for last night is gonna mean a lot to her. I know it. I haven't felt this way about anyone since your mother, and as soon as I let myself think it might work, everything fell apart. It's alright, Dad. I know how that feels. Me and Jack had a really bad falling out last night. Oh, Junebug, I'm sorry. It's probably inevitable. Anyway, let's focus on you right now. You know, as your dad, I can't allow that, right? And as much as I'm your matchmaker, I'm ordering you two, for now, at least. Let's work on your apology to Veronica. I just wish I could put on the paper what's in my head. I was never great with finding the right words. I think you're being your own worst critic. For good reason. Letters aren't my thing. I can't afford to screw this up. You're really gonna torment yourself over this letter until you get it done, aren't you? Yes. Yes, we are, because literally, he's like me. He looks at you hopefully. We literally lose sleep over this shit. Do you think my incredible matchmaker could give me a little help with this? A diamond choice. I mean, sometimes you just need, like, a sounding board, you know, someone to help you get through things and get shit off your chest and make things clear, you know? Kind of like remove the fog for a minute. Look at that smile. You lean closer to peer at the letter in front of him. What do you have so far? Well, I wanted to start with a bang, so I wrote this metaphor about relationships being like rivers. I really like it, but I wonder if it's just better to be straightforward. Well, Dad, you're getting fancy. What's a metaphor? Oh, for the love of... He clears his throat and reads from the letter. Relationships are like rivers. Sometimes they can be easygoing, and sometimes they can turn into rapids. Sometimes a dam or waterfall obstructs the path, but they always make it to their destination, whatever that destination is. I hope the waters are gentle. That's beautiful. Are you sure you need my help? No shit. No shit. Thanks, your mom loved metaphors like that, and I used to write her sappy poems to brighten her day. But Veronica isn't your mom, and I don't want to compare her or do something just because it worked before. I think she'll love the metaphor. Veronica is a romantic. The sappier, the better. Her dad smiles down at his letter, newly confident. Alright, you're right. I'll show her just how much thought I've put into this. Plus, it's you. Don't change yourself or what you do based on others' expectations, you know? He eagerly writes down several more lines, returning back to you. I feel like I need to say more once I get the sorry down, though I don't want it to feel like an empty apology. You lean over and he angles the paper so you can read his words. I know I could have handled myself better. That's not the kind of man I want you to think of me as. Well, you can always bring up the good memories. Say how you wish you'd acted. Yeah. I'm sure you've thought about it a lot. Only every waking second. So, tell Veronica what you'd do if you could go back in time and try again. That doesn't cheapen the apology, does it? It won't read like I'm trying to make myself look better. Things happen in the heat of the moment, dude. They really do. I think it'll show you that you've genuinely been thinking over your actions, that you care enough to do that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Give me a few minutes. As your dad's pen flies over the page, you throw a few more crumpled sheets for Benji. Well, mid-air catch. Nice one, buddy. Alright, that looks good to me. After giving her the letter, are you planning to ask her for her back, or is this you bowing out? Trying to figure out if you need a new match, huh? Of course not. Only teasing, Junebug. I wish I knew the answer. I know I want this relationship to work, but I don't want to burst into her life unwanted. I don't want to feel like a burden to her if she doesn't want me in her life. I need to know because I want her in mine. You might think about putting that down in your letter as well. Yeah, pretty good. Are you sure? That's not coming off too strong after an apology, is it? The dad... You never will get answers if you don't ask. I know you're great at your job, but that sounds like something I read off a fortune cookie. It's a cliche, but it's true. It's better to know than to not know, no matter the result. It's your choice what to put down in this letter, but after what you went through last night, you have a right to make your feelings clear. Your dad mulls that over for a moment and then nods. Yeah, I'm sure about making this work. I need to know if she's as serious as I am. Your dad focuses intently on the letter, and after a few more carefully considered sentences, he signs it. You think a letter is enough? She hasn't already made up her mind, right? This is a start. I get your foot in the door. Then hard work comes next. You have to prove to her you don't go around punching people randomly, even if that person really deserved it. Who knows, maybe it got me some bonus points. Hey, they're thinking on the optimistic. Knowing what she thinks of Richard, very possibly he was due to a punch to the face anyways. Can we change Richard's name to Chris? I just had to. I had to. Thinking about Richard leads to thinking about why Richard was there, which leads to Jack, and your face falls. What are you thinking about? Just Jack and me and our falling out. I'm sorry, Junebug. I hoped at least one of us would end up in a happy relationship. Yes. It was just the end of the honeymoon phase. Our real relationships need work. The one argument isn't the end. Hopefully. Hopefully. It was a bad argument. Bad enough, I'm not sure how we're supposed to address it. Maybe you could write a letter? Ha. Your dad slings his arm over your shoulders. No matter what happens between me and Veronica, you and Jack, I'm here for you. Hey, that's my line. I'm here for you too, Dad. Always. He waves this completed letter. I know that. I'm feeling a lot better about delivering this to Veronica tomorrow. And if we run into Jack on the way, he better be on his best behavior, or he'll have a Papa Drew to answer to. Your dad picks Benji up, holding the wrinkly puppy in his arms. And Mr. Benji too, isn't that right? Roof. I'm sorry, Benji, but you can't come to the office with me. Shh, don't listen to her, Benji. She's just being a big meanie. You roll your eyes with a laugh. This competition is the most insane thing I've ever been a part of, but I'm glad you're in it with me, Dad. It's been one hell of a bonding experience, huh? That's one way of thinking about it. I love you, Junebug. I love you too, Dad. After spending a while with your dad at the stockyard, you head back to your apartment only to freeze when you see who's waiting outside your door. Hey. He straightens up. His hands are in his pocket, tension in every line of his body. We need to talk. Oh, you don't say! With the fight still fresh in your mind, he's shown up at your doorstep. How will this encounter go? Find out in the next chapter. Well, hopefully well. Without further ado, thank you, beautiful faces, for being here. Love you. Let me know what you feel, and let me know what you think. So, let me go ahead and just say the following. You guys know what to do. It's on the screen, as well as if you've been here any moment of, like, past a second, you know what to do. So, I'll just say this. I So yeah, no, I don't think anyone knew about the whole, cheating thing with Richard, right? I mean, clearly if people knew, I don't think even myself would have been like, yeah, let's try, because Veronica talks so highly about the relationship. Think about this. I mean, I have a memory, so if you'd like, I could walk you back through this, but she spoke highly of Richard. She said he was such a romantic and he was a go-getter and all this other stuff at the beginning of the relationship. And just over the past few years, as they've both focused on their careers, things have fallen out, right? I mean, she's a go-getter and she's a career woman, and he's a go-getter and he's a career man. Clearly Richard did a little something on the side, right? While Veronica stayed loyal. That we know of, but she stayed loyal. And the only reason and the only time she went, unless she says otherwise or we find out otherwise, is to find someone else's when they're getting a divorce, right? So, with that being said, let's be honest, up until that confession and up until we knowing that, there was nothing wrong with trying to rekindle the romance, rekindle the relationship, rekindle the marriage, maybe get them to reconnect after, the kind of like slow falling out that they've had. Clearly nothing big and serious and whatnot happened, but it was, something that I talked about quite some time, and quite adamantly, like, hey, imagine if this happened by the end of this book, that we just got them back together and they realized that their relationship was great and everything else. Again, up until Richard's confession, yeah. Get wrecked, fam. Now, one, you've put Veronica in a very bad very bad situation. And clearly her relationship wasn't the greatest in the world, and then also everything else. So, the whole her trying to avoid being caught dating because it would look bad on her company, and I mean, eventually her, thing was going to come out. So Richard's thing just kind of jump started that before she was out of the company. So, I mean, again, all this is complicated in that world, right? In that frame of mind. I don't think it would have. I don't think it really mattered. And then as for Jack, yeah, it kind of sucks. I mean, like, let's be honest. He has worked a job. His job. You did something as a side job. You're here. You are working in the bar, helping your dad and everything else, and you're helping them on the side, right? We don't know how long she's been doing it, but she's been doing it a little here and there. Jack was literally doing this for a living for quite a many years, and his dream was to eventually become CEO. Like, have you ever had hopes and dreams of like that? I know I have. And so, yeah, again, I feel for Jack. I've said this periodically here and there. I feel for Jack. We've just kind of like waltzed in and been like, aha, this is mine. The only way to truly fix this is to split it. Like, clearly he's a good matchmaker. Clearly you're a good matchmaker. So why not just split it? Run the company together. It's a great relationship thing, too. Think about it. So, something tells me that's how this book is going to end, or at least get off to, or who knows. Anyway, love you, beautiful faces. Catch you later. Peace out.